What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is doing well. Thanks to everybody again that has supported, shown love. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are a subscriber or return viewer, I appreciate it. And all of you who have left comments or thumbs up, I appreciate that too. I want to discuss the topic today. Since I have made some of the videos, there's been a lot of questions that people want to know who are thinking about getting married. They want to know how can they better prepare themselves to be on the same page with their spouse. So I'm going to title this one, 3 questions that need to be answered before you get married. 3 questions that need to be answered before you get married. And let me say, first of all, obviously I'm not a marriage counselor or relationship therapist. I do have education in that background, but as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm not coming on as a licensed anything. I'm just giving, as you see from the title, my perspective, and then my own background and my life and what I've seen and those that are close to me and what I've seen. So if you're thinking about getting married, even in this day and age where there's more people that's getting unmarried than getting married, but if you're still wanting to take that plunge and you're wanting it to work, these are 3 questions that I recommend that needs to be asked and answered before you walk down that aisle. Number 1, where is God in the priority of that marriage? Where is God going to be prioritized in that marriage and in that family? Now, when I say that, I'm really saying, do both people, man and woman, even believe in God? I'm asking, that's a question you got to know, because some people just assume, well, he go to church, she go to church. Ask the questions. Do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? And if you believe in God, where will he be prioritized? Is he the center? Because at the end of the day, if a person, my perspective, is going to be married, that is a spiritual event. And the question of God has to be answered. When we talk about being on the same page, let's start right there. Do we both believe in God? Do you believe in God? I don't. Do I believe in God? You don't. Do I believe in God on more of a religious sense, but not necessarily spiritual? So I'll go to church, but my concept of God isn't really that high. Do I pick and choose kind of the things? These questions need to be answered. Because you don't want to wake up in 3 years and say, I thought he was a man of God. I thought she was a woman of God. I thought this person had spiritual values, and come to find out they don't. Now, of course, when the question is asked, obviously a lie can be told. So watch, along with the question, you have to watch the behavior. But where is God going to fit in our relationship? Ask that question and make sure it's answered. And both people, that's a conversation that both people need to have with one another. Where is God in our relationship? If we believe in God at all. Because if you don't, I'm not telling nobody what to do, but it's a spiritual thing. So if there's no God, however you see that, if there's no God involved, then it's almost like what's the point of doing something that is a spiritual thing if we're not going to include God? Because if there's no God in your mind, then there's no sense of wrongdoing. So what is the purpose of marriage then? Right? My opinion. If we're going to remove God, then we're removing his law, his values. So therefore, what would be the purpose of marriage? Somebody can put in the comments how they feel about that. Question number 2. And this is a big one. This is for the man, and it's going to connect to number 3. Number 2. Men, what is my vision for this family, this relationship? What is the vision? Where do I intend to go? Which direction am I headed? Now, obviously, if you're young, you may not really know exactly what it is that you really want to be doing or the direction that you really want to go. So I thought about this in a practical sense. I used to live in St. Louis, so I'm in the East Coast now. I'm in North Carolina now. So this is how I would put it in a practical sense. I would say to Keisha, I'm going to St. Louis in 2 weeks. I would like for you to go with me. Now, I have just given my intention, my vision. I'm going to St. Louis. I would like for you to go with me. And on the way to St. Louis, this is how I plan on getting there. I'm going to rent an SUV. I'm going to borrow my mom's van, whatever. So because it has more room, we can pack stuff in case we break down. We can have the supplies and things that we need. I'm going to take this interstate. We're going to go here. We're going to get a hotel here. It's the vision. And so there's 2 things that I'm doing there. I'm giving the vision, and I'm also giving the way that I plan on fulfilling that vision. I'm telling the vehicle that we're taking. I'm telling what time we're leaving. I'm telling what towns that we're going to stop in if we're going to stay overnight. Right? I'm giving the vision. In doing that, that will secure the woman's mind, because women like security, not just protective security, but they like to be secure in the thought process. So she's fully aware, okay, we're going to St. Louis. We're leaving on the 15th of February. This is what we're driving. This is what we're going to do when we get there. He has a job interview. This is the neighborhood that we're looking for. She knows all these things because he has given her the vision. So that's what men, young men in particular, if you're going to marry a woman, what is the vision? It can't just be, you can get married and try to figure it out along the way, as most of us probably have, but the majority of those situations, not all, but the majority of those situations end up in vain. The book says where there is no vision, the people will perish. Got to have vision. And that's going to come from the man. You got to have vision. Number 3, this is where the woman comes in. With what he has just told me, am I willing to use all of my powers, all of my gifts, all of my knowledge, all of my understanding, all of my talents to help manage the vision and help him with what he just told me? Because remember, if we're talking about God, then he has called the wife, and I need to do another video on that too. even the role of husband and wife, according to, if we're doing it under God, then she is called to be a helpmeet. So he's given the vision, and now he's saying, I'm extending to you the opportunity to be my helpmeet as we work together. How do you feel about the vision? So number 3, the woman has to now identify, this is a question that she must ask and answer, both people, is that something that I'm willing to do? Listen, and I'm using practical situations here. St. Louis can get very cold in the winter, and tornadoes will come through there at some point. When I was there, they had one of the big ones, what is it, F4, whatever, 200 something miles per hour, tore the airport up. If the woman know she will stay sick in cold weather, no matter how handsome the man is, it would not make sense to her to say, this is something that I'm willing to do, because technically she cannot do it for her own health. Do you see what that's a practical situation. But when you hear his vision, ladies, you now have to ask yourself, is that something that I'm willing to give myself to for the rest of my life, even though the vision may change, but it will change together. So he may get to St. Louis, work 10 years, find a better job in Houston, and the vision, but it's working together, right? Am I willing to? She may get a better job in Houston, and so the vision may change. But am I willing to give myself to this man based on what he has told me out the gate, and based on what I have seen of him, his ability to be disciplined enough to do what he say, lead as he say, in the amount of time that we are dating? Am I willing to do that? I tell friends of mine now that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, do not say yes to a man that you are not willing to give your life towards his vision. There's no need. Because if it's counterproductive in her mind, no matter how pretty she may be, that's not the one for him. A true helpmeet will fall in place. If we're using the Bible or God, Adam said, she is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. That connection was so tight with one another. It was a oneness that was already there. So those are the 3 things. Ask and answer, where will God be, or where is he already prioritized in our relationship? High, middle, low, none at all. 2, what is the vision of the man? And as much detail as he can give, the more he can secure the woman who likes security. 3, based on what he just told me, am I willing to go along with that vision? And again, I'm well aware that life happens. But let's do the trip. If you're going from Carolina to St. Louis, you go through the mountains. You could go one way, you can go through the tunnel. Let's say the rocks come down, avalanche or whatever, the tunnel is blocked off. So you may have to readjust the plan as far as how you're getting there, but the vision don't change. You may have a flat tire. You may have to pull over, go get it fixed, take an extra day or 2. So things happen, but the vision is the same. The goal is we're going to St. Louis, and we're going there for a better job. That's the goal. Things happen along the way, but the vision is the same, right? You may want to check into a hotel. You already got one in mind that you stayed at before. You get there, they're all booked. You got to readjust where you stay. Things happen. You might go to a restaurant, eat some bad food, right? The yum-yum sauce sat out too long. Tear your stomach up. Now you got to chill out. You don't really want to be in the car because it's going to give you nausea. Things happen, but the vision stays the same. So I understand that life comes up, but there has to be a vision for the woman to be able to agree with. When Adam was in the garden and God had already told him to name the animals, multiply, do these things, they was very aware of what the vision was supposed to be. And a lot of times, and I was the number one guilty, we all in our feelings, and he looks so good and she looks so good, and I want to be with them for the rest of my life. And all we know is, man, I gotta get a ring. I'm about to marry. She about to be my wifey, and he about to be hubby. And depending on how cheesy you are, you might have the shirt on, say I'm the hubby, and she might have a similar shirt on that say I'm the wifey. I mean, I'm just being funny. That ain't my thing, but to each his own. It's cute. If that's what you into, we see y'all in the mall, it's cute. But there's no vision. Gotta have vision. I think that's as far as what we can control. The man has to have vision. He needs to have vision. And he needs to be able to articulate it in a way that the woman can know if that's something she's willing to sign up for. And if that's not able to be articulated and understood, there's a good chance mentally and maturity-wise, maybe it's not the best time to get married and just keep on dating. Because once you say I do, it's I do. We're working towards whole relationships now. We're working towards, we're no longer trying to have damaged relationships. We're working towards something that's whole, something that's healthy. We're getting away from toxic. That's the goal. And we're trying to start it from the gate. And we're trying to learn from other people's mistakes. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use the mistakes that I made to deliver it to somebody so they can avoid the same mistakes that I made. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Please, bombard the comment section with any thoughts, ideas. I know. Listen, this was not an exhaustive list on what you need to do before you get married. I assure you it's not. I'm just picking 3 of the main ones that I know will have a big impact on people 5 or 10, 15, 20 years from now. I know there's finances. I know you got to talk about it. I understand all those things. This is just 3 things that somebody can look at and right now turn to their boyfriend or girlfriend and say, how do you feel about this? Anyway, y'all continue to have a good day. If you haven't told anybody you love them today, and those of you that are married, at least let your spouse know I appreciate you, I love you. And let's all grow and become better people as a whole. All right, I'll be blessed.